Alrighty guys, so today we're going to be installing Boost Auto Parts' S-Series cab lights. These are going to go on a 2020 and up GMC Sierra or Chevy Silverado. And they're 2,500 to 3,500 trucks, which ours is a 3,500. Pretty much that's our exact truck. So we're going to open these bad boys up. And in the box we've got our big one for the middle. It's all nice and wrapped, protected. So that'll go in the middle, and then we've got our two side ones. And then we've got some new clips, because these are one-time use clips, so you can't reuse them, same as the bolts. So those will go in. And then the S-Series means that the design on them is kind of like a S. It's not like the boxes like what's on the truck. So we actually did Boost Auto Parts' fender lights on this truck, and we did Boost Auto Parts' mirror lights. So we've done that. Now we just got to do the cab lights up there. And as you can tell, they're like a box. They're not an S. So we're gonna get these installed. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So because my truck has the sunroof up here, we're gonna hit the start button, which you could put it in accessory, but I hit the start button. We're gonna come up here, turn the air off. We're gonna come up here, and we're gonna hit the slide. So it's gonna slide back. And then we can shut the truck off, and then we can go disconnect the battery with 10mm socket, both batteries on the negative. Okay, so I'm using the Milwaukee 3/8 impact. Now on these bolts, you don't have to take them all the way off, just loosen them a little bit, like that, and then it comes right off. So you don't need to take the nut off. We're gonna do the same thing on this side, on the negative. Just remove it like that. All right, guys, so we're back in the truck. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this roof part, this little part where the buttons are for the sunroof, the garage door opener, that kind of stuff. There's two plastic pieces right here along both sides. I'm gonna take a little tiny flathead screwdriver, as you can tell, and I'm gonna pry them off. And then underneath there, there'll be two T15s. So I'm just gonna take them out with a T15. We're gonna do the ones closest to the windshield. There we go, just like that, it pries out. Pop it down a little bit, grab it with my hand. I know it's hard for you to see. Grab it with my hand, and then just work my way around it, and it's out. So now we'll take those two T15s that are up in there, in these little holes. We're gonna take those out. So we'll just grab our tool, stick it up in there, start loosening them. Make sure we don't drop them. And I dropped it. So it's held in there by these two black T15 screws, and then there's two clips on the back, which when we pry it, you'll see. So let's get this side out. Try to find it up in there. Try to get my, there we go. I'm just gonna loosen that. And as you can see, it's already dropping down. So now we can take that out. Gotta get the screw with it. There we go, screws out. So now the console's falling down. Now we're gonna have a whole bunch of clips on the back side of it, like these wires. We're just gonna disconnect all the red tabs just like normal, and then pry them out. All right, guys, so there's a tab right here on the front of this one. We're just gonna push down on it and pull it out. As you can tell, like that, it comes out. And then there's two more. We're gonna pull these red tabs back towards us. If we can do that without having to get a pick. So I'm gonna actually take my pick, put it back in there, pry that out a little bit. There we go, got one of them out. And just push up a little bit like that. Then there's two clips behind there, you just push down on them. Alright guys, so we got all these unplugged, and then there's just two clips. There's one like right here that goes into this big one. You just unclip it on the bottom with a little flathead screwdriver, you pry it in there. And then there's another one on the back of this right here, and that goes up there. Again, flathead screwdriver, pop the little clip, and it slides out. So now we're gonna leave all those wires dangling there. We're gonna set this piece to the side somewhere, and then we're going to start on the visors. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this down. We're going to pop it off of here, and then we're going to extend it to the side and extend it all the way out. There's this little plastic piece around the outside edge. We're going to take our pick again. You can either use a pick or a flathead screwdriver, a small one, and I'm going to pop off this cover, and then there's 3 T15s underneath there. Take all those out, and then this piece here on the back side of it, there's a little cover. We're going to take our flathead screwdriver in there, pop it out just like that, and then there's a T15 in there as well. So we'll get all that done, and then we'll do that on both sides, and then we can move on to the pillars. Like that. Slide this back, and then we're going to take the T15, and we're going to take out all of our 3 T15s all the way around it. So let's get those out. So we got all 3 out. Now we're going to set those to the side. Now we're going to do this one right here. So again, we're going to pop off the back cover. There's a little insert for a screwdriver. We're just going to peel that back just like that. Now we're going to take our T15, stick it up in there, and there we go. Now we're just going to hold the top of that and then loosen it. So now we can get this one out, and we'll just grab this piece, lightly put it over there, put this back in, clip it down, and fold it up. Now we can move on to the pillars. All right, now we're working on the front 2 pillars, so you can just do this for the same on the passenger or the driver side. We're going to take our pick, and we're just going to work it in between the crack, and then we're going to pry that up. I'm going to try to do it off camera because I don't want to mar it, but you can use a little like pointed pick too. It might work a little bit better. We're going to take both these caps off, and then there's 2 10mm bolts underneath there. Pop those off, and then this will just pry out. Give it a good yank down, and then pull it out from the windshield down there, just like that. Okay, so this back pillar back here behind the door is a little different than what the instructions say for this kit. I don't know if it's just because mine's a 2023 and they upgraded it or updated it or whatnot, but there used to be 2 bolts right here and right here, which mine don't have. Mine only has 1 up here behind this airbag. There was an airbag plate there. You just pop that off, and there's a 7mm bolt back there. So I'm going to pop that off and then see if that's the only thing holding this on, because it looks like the grab handle is separate from this. So let's try that. Okay, so we took that 7mm bolt off on top, and it looks like they did change it. I don't know what year they changed it, but this one is just held in by clips after that 7mm bolt, so you literally just yank it off. Don't yank off here though, because that'll break. Try to get your fingers in between the top and the headliner, and just pull the clips out. And yeah, so a little bit easier. Only 1 bolt versus the 2020s must have had 3. So we'll do that to both sides, and then we can keep on going. Okay, so now that we got all the front pillars off, now we can move up to the sunroof, and there's going to be 3 clips. There's going to be 1 right here, and then there's going to be another one right there, and another one down the line right there. We're going to remove those with pliers. We're just going to pinch both ends and then push them down, and then there'll be 2 more clips on each side of the headliner. So we're going to remove those, and then we'll remove the weather stripping around the outside edge a little bit so we can pop the headliner down. All right, we got all the clips out. We removed the weather stripping so it comes down just a little bit. That's all it needs to do, is come down just a little bit. Now you can see that first bolt right there with that wire connector right there. So we're just going to unbolt them all. They're 10mm. We're just going to find them. You can see, just don't unbolt the antenna. It's hard to tell up in there, but down the line there's more bolts. Just don't unbolt the antenna, which is on the other driver's side. It'll be the 2nd bolt in. So just get all these cap lights unbolted, take them out, put them back in, bolt them back down. I'll try to show you a little bit of it, but it's hard to get the camera up in there. All right, guys, we took the clip and the bolt off, and then we disconnected the wire that goes to it. So now we can just hop up here, and we should be able to pull this cab light out. So we'll just wiggle it a little bit. There it goes. So now we just pull it out all the way, Get the cord to come through. There we go. So now we got the old cab light out. Now, I want to compare these a little bit to the new cab lights, just to show you guys. A lot of brands do cheap sealant. These are pretty much the same. This is OE, and this is Boost Auto. They literally are the same exact design. So, you don't have to worry about no leaks. These are just more squished because they've been on there for so long, but they're literally the same design. So you can feel good about, you know, not having a leak. So let's get this one up in there. They'll say on it what one it goes to. So right hand, so it'll be the right side, so that's the one we're on. So let's get it. All right, we got it all cleaned off good up there. Now we're gonna take our new light and we're going to put it in the hole, the wire at least. And then the box end will fit in the hole as well, just like that. And then we'll tighten it down on the inside, so with the new hardware that they gave us in the bag. All right, the middle one's a little bit easier to get than the outside ones. There's bolts up in here, you can see. There's one right there, and then there's another one. Sorry, all the wires are in the way. There's another one right there where the wire goes in, right there, and then there's another one right there, which I already took out. So there's three, so let's pop those out, undo this wiring connector, and then pull it out just like we did the other one. All right, guys, so we got all the bolts out. Now we're just gonna grab it and try to wiggle it out like we did the other side. They're a little bit hard to come out. You don't want to use a screwdriver and pry on the paint. That wouldn't be good, but if you can just kind of get your hands up under there and lightly wiggle it out, it'll come out. So I'm gonna do that off camera. All right, we got all the new ones in, so they look good. I got them all tightened down. All of them are plugged in. Now all we gotta do is put everything back together. So we'll pop the headliner back up with all the clips. We'll put the A-pillars on, put the seal back in, just reverse everything we did. Plug that back in, just get everything perfect, and then we can move on. We got it all put back together. Now we're just gonna remove all the tape on them. And then we'll have to work on the S-Series module to make them work. All right, so if you guys just got regular cab lights, then your install is done. If you didn't, then you're gonna have to do the S-Series cab light module, because this is what's gonna make your cab lights work, blink, and everything like that. So we're gonna have to open that up, and then we have the module inside of here, and then it comes with all this wiring here, because you do have to do a good bit of wiring. So yeah, let's get an install of this. All right, so on the passenger side, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up on this trim piece here, so it'll just pull straight out like that, and then it'll do the same in the rear. I've only got one hand, so it's kind of hard. And then we're gonna pull up on this piece here, this kick plate. You're gonna pull up on all these tabs, and then you're gonna pull out on that piece as well. All right, guys, so this yellow connector right here, we're gonna lift up on the white, and then we're gonna remove the yellow connector from in there. I might have to do it without filming because it's a tight spot, but we'll take it out and then I'll show you. All right, guys, we've switched to my phone, so the audio and video might be a little bit different, but this is the connector. There's this little like board here. I pull that down a little bit to get it better to it, but we're gonna cut this zip tie at the top, and then we're gonna take off the plastic yellow piece, which will have more clips around the sides and the front. All right, guys, so this purple wire here, it's the second row down from the top, and it's the second port in. We're gonna cut that wire in half. We're gonna give it a good amount of room. Probably right here we'll cut it. All right, so we've got that cut. Now we're gonna take our strippers and we're gonna strip both sides. So we're gonna strip this side and this side. And we're gonna use just a pair of strippers to do so. So I got these Milwaukee ones, but we're gonna strip them, and then we can put on that S-Series module. All right, now we're gonna take this blue wire from the S-Series module, and we're gonna hook it up to the top one coming from the harness, not the one going to the connector, the one coming from the harness. So this one up here, we're gonna hook that to, crimp it on there, and then we'll end up taking care of this one later, but not right now. All right, so on the S-Series module, we got two wires. We got a blue one and a black one. The black one we're not gonna be using right now. So we're gonna take electrical tape and we're just gonna tape it up so that we don't have to use it. So we'll do that, and then we'll go put the S-Series module on that purple wire. Now we're gonna take the connector that was provided in the kit, and we're gonna put it on this other wire right here. We're going to crimp that, and then we'll grab our harness and hook it to that. Okay, now we've got our 4-pin connector from the kit. We're going to take the orange wire, and we're going to cut it probably right about there, because we're going to be plugging it into the module on this side. So that's our running light. So then that's going to get plugged in right to that connector we just put on. So let's cut this real quick. Okay, so I cut it about that long. I stripped it, and now we're going to crimp it right into that purple wire going into the connector. So let's get it crimped in there. Okay, so I've took an old hanger. I've shaped it to be straight. So I duct taped or electrical taped the wires to the end of it. And now we're going to run it all the way up through, like underneath there, in between the center console to get to the other side. So we're just going to fish it through. So I'll do that off camera. Okay, we've got our wires ran through. Now we're going to go up to the body control module, which is going to be hard to see, but it's right here. We're going to take out the black and the brown, and we're going to disconnect them. So I'll do that real quick, and then I'll show you. We'll start with the black. Okay, we're going to start with the black one, and we're going to peel back on some of this tape. We're going to cut it up a little bit, because then we're going to get to one of these wires so that we can put a tap in it. Okay, so on the black connector, we tabbed the third one over on the top. There's going to be 2 wires in there, and this one on mine is like a green and purple. So I tapped into that with one of the red connectors. On the brown one, we're going to tap into the second one on the top, which is blue and white. And now we can hook up our 2 wires to those. Okay, so we put the connectors supplied in the kits on the ends of these 2 wires that we routed through. And the green and red one are going to go to the black connector that we spliced. And the red and blue one go to the brown. Now we can hook these back up in and then route the wires down and around. Okay, we got that side over there on the driver's side all wrapped up. Now we came around over here, plugged in the connector to the S-Series module. Now we're going to tap for power. So we're going to grab our other wire from our kit. All right, so on the passenger side, we tapped into the top red one, which is the second pin over from the top. And then 4 rows up from the bottom and 3 to the right, there's a black ground wire that I chased all the way up, and I tapped to that one. So now we'll take our harness they gave us that we have cut the length, and I gotta put our inline fuse on the red side of it. So let's get that spliced in. Okay, so we hooked the black one to the black wire we tapped, and the red one to the red wire we tapped, and then we plugged that in to the S-Series module. Now we'll just have to put all these cords back together, put the yellow cover back on that with a zip tie, plug that back in, and then we'll be done.